I know you're excited to see all the other people, but I just want to bring out someone.
Grab an una and get some snacks, because it's going to be a long time.
Nah, you know what, let's jump right into it. I've always wanted to say that. And how would you define, like there's, obviously when we started out, when you pull out a camera, like people are just weirded out, right? Like people are like, now there's all these cameras and phones and all that. How do you define what a good vlogger is? Is there a definition? Is there such a thing as a good vlogger or a great vlogger? Or how do you differentiate yourself from that?
I don't know. It's subjective because it's such a broad thing. I mean, how many people can you reach? That's one thing. How many people are you entertaining? And then it's kind of a balance between how many people you can reach, and then the other side is what is your story, or what is the value that you're bringing to your audience, whether it's something informative or whether it's motivational, or you're telling a story to alter one's perspective in a way to influence them in a positive way. I mean, that's kind of that was one of my biggest reasons why I started vlogging, was to open up traveling and show how traveling had made me a happy person and cultured me and let me really see the world and become this really happy, positive, energetic type person. And I wanted everyone to find that happiness as well, because there's so many things that we watch on TV that are entertaining. You know, and I was on TV before I started vlogging. I was working on television, and I always wanted just to bring more value aside from entertainment. Entertainment is great. It's probably one of the best things out there, because there's so much you can do to a person just through entertainment and making them happy and smile. But I always had a dream to add value-added content, and that was through, I guess, just telling my thoughts and showing my perspective.
But okay, going into that, and I think you mentioned like, you know, we always talk about what it takes to be a good YouTuber and all that, and we always talk about it in these talks. But what would you say are the hurdles, or is there mistakes that you've made in the past that you wish you could undo now?
I've made a ton of mistakes. We all make mistakes, and you all will make mistakes, especially in vlogging, because it's a very weird thing to do, to walk around with a camera and film everything. You know, you guys know how awkward it can be, right? It's all that how uncomfortable and everything it is. But it's hard for me to regret anything, because mistakes are a necessary. It's a necessary thing that happens in life. With every failure, you learn from that failure and you correct it and you move along. When I think back, maybe I have been insensitive or obnoxious in a certain way, or I made someone uncomfortable, and I learned over time that one of the most important things in vlogging is make yourself happy and make the people around you happy. And if there's anyone around that feels uncomfortable, or you feel like you're harming them in any way, then just do not put your vlog out or capture that, you know. That's like one of the few things. So when I first started vlogging, I was all alone, because there was no one doing it. That was the hardest time in my life. Also because people didn't understand, because when I was vlogging, I think one thing we all have to be thankful for today, all you vloggers and IG storyers and everything, is that it's accepted. It's a part of what society does today. And just 2 years ago, which was not that long ago, people were very critical or judgmental about, you know, holding a big camera and filming stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. Your last video was about, and I want to ask this because I don't know if everybody has seen it. I want you guys to see that video. It's a great video. How about like celebrities going into the vlog space, going into YouTube? And I know you gave your thoughts there, but just to reiterate it, like, how do you feel about other people who are already big, they already have their fan bases, and they're going into the platform?
One of the things you don't want to fall into is being too competitive or comparing yourself, especially your numbers, to other people, because If you let your life kind of spiral into that thing where everything becomes statistics, you're going to lose the soul of your content. And really, we started YouTubing out of passion. I wasn't making money, I was losing money because I was spending money traveling and doing all this stuff, and we weren't monetized, we didn't get any brand deals. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is do the things that make you happy. We're doing it because we're passionate about it. So don't fall into the trap of looking at other numbers, because it's true, like artistas have huge followings and they could come on YouTube and they could just film themselves in the bathroom or whatever and it'll get like 1 million views. But that has no effect on me, you know? And actually in the long run, I talked about this in my vlog, artistas and the more people that come on the platform, it brings more people on YouTube, so ultimately everyone can benefit from this. Yeah. Because back in the day, there weren't that many, there wasn't as big of a YouTube audience, and all you have to do is just become more unique. You know? You have to find your niche.
Collaboration over competition.
Exactly.
You know, like it's always values over like views.
But the most important thing for all us YouTubers out there is there really shouldn't be any real drama between you and another YouTuber. I know it's easier said than done. I've never had like real drama with anyone, because I think, you know, me and everyone around me, we all understand that there is no competition. Yeah. You know?
It's just, look, it's a big platform.
What someone else does isn't gonna affect.
There's this good quote from your vlog. What was it? It was like,
I can't keep up with my quotes. Yeah. Go.
It was something to the effect that, like, you know, as long as you keep in your own lane, there's no competition if you're paving your own road, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Well, now I think since we're talking about other YouTubers, and we were talking about like having a squad and all that, I think at this point I want to introduce a few people that you might also know, and so we have a squad. And I just want to introduce Daniel Marsh. Top of the morning to you, my Irish friend. Haley Dasovich. Mrs. D-Duff in the building. Here we go. Bret Maverick. Bretty Dan. What's up? Wait, that was it. Myself. All right. Please take a seat. Take a seat. Yeah, all right.
Doing your own thing, being able to travel, and it's amazing.
I would say being able to do what I love, and that is traveling and having brand new experiences every single day in this crazy, ever-changing environment in the industry that we work in. It's really cool to have to adapt every single day to a brand new feeling. And this job requires extreme stamina and resilience. And I think having that as a challenge every day on top of having fun is keeping that balance.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like crafting a story is pretty.
But for me is having a voice, because there was a time where I wasn't that confident, and I felt like what I said didn't matter much to most people. And then once I started to vlog on YouTube, you realize that there's so many people that can connect with you. And it really brought out my confidence and made me feel like, whoa, I'm not such an outcast, weirdo person. And I think that was the most beautiful moment I had for me in realizing, it was like a coming of age thing.
That's beautiful, actually. Like, we're talking about having a voice, right? Like, there are 600,000 like hours of content uploaded every minute, and you gotta stand out and all of that. But how do you find your voice amongst all of that? Like, how do you stand out? How do you find a voice?
I think the first goal is to be yourself, number one, because if you try to craft a character or something that's not you, over a long period of time, it's going to get very difficult to maintain that character. So if if you be yourself and you create good content based on you, eventually you will, you'll have a better experience with it all.
I think that it's also about just trying everything and failing, and having to get back up again and completely switch directions and trying everything again, because at some point you're gonna find what you really love and what sticks and what you want to focus on. And again, that might change. My content has changed a lot actually in 3 years as I've been a YouTuber.
It goes to finding out what you're passionate about. That's the ultimate thing. You have to find what is your passion. I think that's probably one of life's greatest purposes, is finding out what really moves you. And the only way to find out what you're passionate about is do as many things as possible, find out what you don't like doing, and that takes you one step closer to finding out what you do like doing.
Don't be afraid to show your emotions, like, I don't know, before people would be like, oh, why are you being like weird and making faces?
Nakabuang ka diyan.
Like, no, like me, you know what I'm... No.
Oh no, people look at you like you're crazy.
Or you'll go into an alley and then you'll find a place to vlog and someone sees you and you just start walking away, acting like you're not doing anything.
It's a totally different thing. Like
it's just so warm in here.
Here people see
here, dude.
You vlogging and they join you. What's up? You know.
It goes back.
You know what? Before I started vlogging, and I think this is the truth for all four of I know you grew up here. For all four of us, is the thing that made us stay in the Philippines is just the vibes, the happiness of the people here.
Straight up.
It's super hospitable. The Philippines, when I first came here, obviously being half.
I'm scared to tell you this because you might say no.
The next one is a question to us. Do as much as we can at least at the there.
Yeah, we want to try and get to all you guys.
Let's go.
I have a question, but before that, my friend couldn't come here because he had to cancel last minute. Can you say hi, Ninyo?
Hi, Ninyo.
Hi, Ninyo.
Hello po.
Hello, what's your
A grateful person.
Hey guys, this is Jako. Hi Jako! Say hi!
Stop what you're doing. Take a break. Figure some stuff out, and then you'll be surprised. Nature. Something we all can connect with is whenever we go out to nature.
For Wil, please sign my regards to all of you.
I love you. I love you. It's Kobe.
And I know that you've been like pranking in public with Jacoby, and you've been to like malls doing public pranks.
Yeah.
So, have you been pranked by your circle of friends and you get angry?
The one thing that keeps us so strong and happy is we don't. Walang pikonan. Pikonan? We don't get pikon. No one gets mad. No one gets angry. Unless you wake me up. That's the only thing.
Don't wake Will up.
Yeah.
Or Jako walks in the room in the morning.
Yeah, no, we don't get angry because we know not to cross the line. Like, what we do in the end is usually fun and it doesn't have a lasting negative impact on us. Yeah, and you kind of just learn that.
Alright, next.
When you are starting vlog here in the Philippines, what makes you to be consistent in uploading videos, and what makes you to be motivated?
I had some like weird Napoleon complex growing up, so I wanted to take over the world and be the best at whatever I did, and be #1, and I wanted to prove everyone wrong that looked down upon me. And you know what? I think a lot of us, I bet a lot of people have that Napoleon. Well, you're really tall and you're like a huge giant. But
Just a big meatball.
yeah, I really just wanted to prove myself. One, I wanted to prove myself to the haters or whatever you call it, whatever negative people. But two, I wanted to prove like my parents right, because my parents were so supportive of me, and mom and dad always told me I'm gonna be super successful one day, and they said that, and it was. You know, I wanted to manifest that and really make it happen to make my parents proud.
And what's your question?
Oh my god, that's... Hi Dad! Oh my god!
Argo!
Yeah, I want to go to Argo, the homeland of Mr. Sir Daniel Marsh. And yeah, I want to go to all those Alegria waterfalls. I'm sure Charlie.
Yeah, Alegria is nice too. Argo is good. Nothing places good as Cebu.
Where should I go, guys? You guys tell me. I don't know.
self-love.
I think the most important thing is to make yourself happy, and through finding joy in yourself, it will resonate with other people around you.
Yeah. Put yourself first. Don't be tough on yourself. Sometimes you could like give yourself aspirations or goals, and it might be very difficult to get to them. You know, if you don't make them sometimes, it's okay. It's life. Don't be tough on yourself sometimes.
And listen to your inner voice. If you have uncertainties, listen to that inner voice.
The hardest part, I think, in any industry, or in anything like this, as being an entrepreneur, content creator, anything, is how we come back after failure. Failure can have like such a deep effect on people, and it'll traumatize them to not want to take risks anymore. And the people who succeed, I think the one thing that really defines us and our career and how we're going to make it in life is how we come back after a failure. So if you fail, if you feel really down, I think, you know, the thing that's really going to define you is how you come back.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. Become extremely comfortable with it. And I would say, always start small. Start with your phone. Don't get overwhelmed with trying to think about which camera you should get, what kind of Joby stick you should get, whatever. Just start with your phone and walk around like your town, talk.
Yo, straight up, that's what I did. I started with my phone, and then I would just go to like Ayala Triangle and just walk around with my phone and my tripod. But it just like helps you get over the fear. So like the more you do it.
Okay, the other thing is I still take sometimes 2 to 3 takes on each video. Like I'm not like Will. Will can just put a camera up, whatever, and then he puts that in. For me, I'm like, so guys, hey, here we're.
You guys, imagine being in the other room with Haley. All I hear is, hey guys, so. Oh shit. Okay, hey guys, so. And I'm trying to edit, and I keep hearing this. Hey guys, so. Hey guys, so. Everyone does that. All us vloggers do that.
But the thing is, you can edit it, so you can take. And then you edit it.
Me too.
Yeah.
But use that. You know.
No, but anything. No. At the end of the day, repetition. Repetition is the only way you're gonna get better at anything.
Yeah.
And like I told you, it took me 50 vlogs. If you haven't made 50 vlogs and you say you're not good at vlogging, then it's not valid because you have to get to 50 vlogs. That's one of my rules.
Here's a secret. It's a pretty easy thing. Like, take the camera as your friend. It's your friend.
Yeah, talk to the camera.
How do you talk to your friends? Sabay, you go out, you gimmick the tayo. And when you treat it like a friend, you come off as genuine, you come off better. And vlogs are subjective. It's a video vlog. So vlog your life and talk the way you would wish to talk. There's no specific way to talk. You don't have to be an energetic vlogger either. It's your creative endeavor. Do what you like.
Yeah, and it's okay to take as many takes as you need. Seriously.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Nelly.
Right, hi guys. Thanks for taking up for, all of us here lined up. Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm Riza. I come from digital creatives. Doing this for the rest of your life. Yes or no?
Ooh, that's hard to do.
Quick one.
Answer.
Yes.
Awesome.
Or yeses.
Oh yeah.
You're going to
I have
Hollywood.
something to give you. We only got one shirt, but everything else.
Throw it.
I'm gonna throw it. Whoever catches it gets it. Go. Wait, serious?
Yeah, sure that goes. Oh shit! Share, man!
Alright, well, thank you. Thank you very much, guys, for having us. Another round of applause.
Oh my, thank you. Hello.